Welcome to the Desert Lair Bar, episode 14. I'm Dustin. This is a series of first impressions, so I'm trying a malt whiskey from every actively producing Scottish distillery that has a standard available bottling of single malt. Preferably their flagship malt with a little flexibility there. The point is to establish a baseline of distillery character with a heavy emphasis on price to performance to help me determine which distilleries I want to explore more and which ones maybe I don't. I don't want price to performance to be the be-all, end-all of how I approach a spirit, but it is pretty important, so it's something we need to discuss. To help facilitate this, I've started a spreadsheet. There's a link in the description. It has a primary sorting by score, high to low, and a secondary sorting with price, low to high. This week, we're talking about Tomintoul, 10-year-old. The owners of this distillery are Angus Dundee. So they also have this distillery in Glencadam. They produce a few different blends as well. And they have a couple other spirits. This one is 40% ABV. It is artificially colored and chill filtered. This one is a bourbon cask. This is a miniature set here. I bought this in December of 24. Price I paid for the entire set is $24. So I found a place that had all three of these expressions. So the 10, the 16, and the 21, full bottles of them. I took those prices, I added them all together, and then I divided each price by the total amount to come up with a percentage that each bottle was of that total amount. And then I took that percentage and times it by the total amount of this, essentially so that I could come up with a more accurate price than just dividing them all evenly. So unlike the other miniature set that I had where they were all probably roughly the same price, this one with the 10-year-old, the 16-year-old, and the 21-year-old, obviously all these would cost different amounts of money. So if I just divided these all evenly, it would make the 10-year-old look very expensive and it would make the 21-year-old look cheap. So I averaged them out by, again, finding a website that had all three bottlings and a price for all three bottlings. It's not the most accurate thing in the world, but it's more accurate than just dividing them all evenly. Are you asleep yet? I paid $24 for this entire miniature set. This 50 milliliter I have determined cost me $3.15. Locally, this is not available. Also online, I had some difficulty locating the 10-year-old. There were a few places, but most of them are out of stock. Where I did find it, it was about $48 for the 700 milliliter, which would make the 750 milliliter about $51 because this is America and 750 milliliters is the sizing we generally have. I don't know if they're phasing out the 10 or just they're limiting the markets or if just places have them out of stock. I'm not entirely certain what's going on with that. Also, based on the pricing that I found, it would almost be roughly the same price to buy 3 full bottles of these as it would for me to buy 15 of these miniature sets. So that was kind of interesting. It doesn't usually work that way. Miniatures are typically more expensive. When we sort the spreadsheet later on, we'll go by the 750 milliliter bottle pricing. Smell. Apple juice, bitter wood, apple perfume. Taste. Immediately on the palate, this is very light, very watery in the mouthfeel. Kind of tends towards the sweeter orchard fruits, so nectarine, peach, caramel. On the finish, nectarine, rose water, hint of toffee, maybe. Again, this is a very light spirit. It feels almost more like 35% alcohol than 40. Very, very light and kind of watery on the mouthfeel. Score for this one, 71 out of 100. We'll put our spreadsheet up right now. At some point down the line, I will obviously try the 16-year-old and the 21-year-old in this collection. Probably a bit later, but we'll get there. While my spreadsheet is still up here, I'm going to pretend that I did not forget and almost end the video. Wanted to pull out this next bottling here. Again, I usually have several bottles going at the same time. So now that we're done with this one, we'll add another one, kind of this rotation. Speyburn, 10-year-old. It's kind of the next one here. We'll crack it open. We'll add this one to the rotation. Probably be a few weeks before I get to it. Usually like to crack them open, get them down to at least the shoulder and give them a couple weeks. They change sometimes, oftentimes. Give them a little time to breathe. So get this one down to the shoulder and then get rid of the neck pour for these things. In any event, we'll add that one to the rotation. That's all I got for this one. Drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Use the rideshare apps. Don't be a dick. Thanks for stopping by. See you next time.